Good afternoon, one and all. Good afternoon. So here I welcome you all for today's first keynote speaker, okay, under this ICOGE 2023, organized by AISSMS College of Engineering under SESI. Our today's guest is Dr. Bharat B. Kale, sir. Bharat sir is currently working as a scientist, Director General, Center for Material for Electronics Technology. Sir has completed his PhD in Chemistry Material Reaction Engineering from CSII. Talking about Sir's plus points or his expertise, so here I am very proud to announce that Sir has total 31 plus year of experience in nanostructure advanced material, phonetic material, solar cells and many more. Sir has 274 plus publications, 26 plus patents, and under Sir's guidance there are 22 PhD awarded students and currently 9 PhD students are registered. And many more to say about this, sir. So here, today Sir is going to give keynote session on hydrogen as a green fuel. So here I request Kharat sir to take over the session. Before that, I request Principal sir to felicitate Kharat sir. So, Kale sir. So sorry. Over to you, sir. So sorry.
द्यायला लागेल. हो आता पिढी पाहिजे तुम्हाला आता नको आता पाहिजे कॉपी करून प्रॉब्लेम
ओल्डर वर्जन पॉवर पॉइंट इथे आहे आणि तुम्ही लेटेस्ट वर्जनवर ते केलेलं असेल गुगल स्लाईड आहे का
नाही
होईल सर होईल लोड होईल
लॅपटॉप
चालेल लॅपटॉपला पण लावू
some problem in open with me. Anyway, good afternoon and thanks to Principal Sir as well as Nigot Sir for giving me opportunity to say something about the work, the research work which we have performed for this green technologies, because green technologies are going to come in future. Now government is trying for green technology. What is the green technologies? Green technology is nothing but they are pollution free. Suppose you have a plant and that plant is zero discharge plant. You can say that zero discharge plant. So the government, all state government are now insisting that the company should involve the zero discharge product. Zero discharge product, nothing is coming out at the end. Sometimes what happens, lot many other pollutants come out of the process. Now there are many processes people have developed, whether we can the influent is not there. Earlier what used to happen, there's so much acid or so much gaseous pollution used to be happen. Now it is not there because we have changed the policy. Now it is the zero discharge technologies have come in the market. So we are working in this direction today. So what is the fuel tech? Now now you see the petrol, the fossil fuels now today. Fossil fuels, see, we are using fossil fuel because we are creating a lot of other pollution. Because CO is generated, CO2 is generated through this petrol. So people are talking about new other sources like hydrogen. So now hydrogen is a future fuel because when we ignite the hydrogen, only water comes out through that. So this year government has almost assigned 10,000 crores for this hydrogen technology. There are many problems in hydrogen technology. What is the source of hydrogen? So first of all, what kind of source we use for the hydrogen? So people say that water is the cheaper source of hydrogen, and whether we can utilize water for the hydrogen production. What are the other process where hydrogen can be produced? Like if you see the refineries, a lot of other hydrocarbons have been released. So these hydrocarbons can be cracked and you get hydrogen. During this hydrocarbon cracking, you also get CO2, CO, ammonia also. So there is a process for separation at the cost again. So this has to look into when we are really going for very green technologies. So hydrogen is the future fuel. So people are talking about today to that whether we can produce green hydrogen using some sustainable technology. So I'm going to talk on hydrogen because we are working on the hydrogen and what kind of attempts can be made for this green technology. Then one more, there is a one energy generation source. Energy can be generated to solar cells, fuel cells technology, or hydrogen is a good source of energy. But this hydrogen, whether hydrogen can be stored, or whatever maybe solar energy we are producing, that has to be stored, because when you are using mobile, anything, so battery is there, so whenever you want, you are using it. So energy storage is very, very important. So people are talking about energy storage also, very sustainable energy storage, whether we can have battery or whether we can supercapacitors. So all these are energy storage devices. Whenever you want this energy, you can utilize from that store. So these are very, very important technologies where energy generation is one part, but energy storage is also another part. And very cheaper batteries, how we can make the cheaper batteries, that also we are going to see. So this is our laboratory. We can see that we have 3 laboratories. In Pune we have 1 laboratory. So see our your many your projects, second year students are coming to us for the for their dissertation, because last year project you are doing, some of the projects, some of the students came from here, they are in good position now because they got the good salaries abroad, they got the fellowship abroad and they are doing PhDs or they are doing MS. So this is a very good practical experience we get out of these laboratories, because we have state-of-the-art facilities. So we have nanostructure devices. Nanostructure materials can be made. Out of that we can make the devices like solar cells, fuel cells or batteries. So how to make the batteries, how to make the solar cells, how to make the other devices through these materials. So we have this packaging. Then integrated electronic packaging. Integrated electronic packaging is very, very important when you are fabricating any device. So in the device there are so many circuits, that circuits has to be integrated or connected together in the clean room facility. So we have this good facility, like electronic people, electronic engineers can take advantage of that, because it's a unique facility where you can really get practical experience of fabricating the electronic devices. Then in materials we have renewable energy materials, we have very big program. Under this program we do solar cells, from materials to solar cell, where we can do silicon solar cell, thin film solar cells, all solar cells we can make. We can make the fuel cells technology. Fuel cell technology is one of the mature technology will come in the market where hydrogen is a source. So pure hydrogen is required for the fuel cell, so that fuel cell can be used for the buses, for the trucks. What we need, the very cheaper hydrogen. So cheaper hydrogen is very, very important. Now the hydrogen which we are getting from the all sources, the cost of hydrogen is much higher. If the cost of hydrogen comes below $1 per kg, or then this hydrogen will be very, very useful for the in the e-vehicles, or in the vehicles as well as in other areas where the energy is required. Then battery is the source where we can store the energy. So we are also working on battery. All these material dependent technologies. So we thought that whether we can do some research on this. So we are working on lithium-ion battery, sodium-ion battery, lithium-sulfur battery, where we get very good capacity, or the storage of the energy should be very, very high. Now lead acid battery, the storage of the energy is very, very small. So you cannot run the two-wheeler battery, four-wheelers on the batteries of lead acetate because the efficiency is so low. So whether we can have compact batteries and that can perform for at least 200 kilometers in a work charge. Once we charge the batteries, if this battery can give at least 200 kilometers or 300 kilometers, definitely then there will be some advantages to use these batteries for the vehicles. So we are developing some new materials where we can make the batteries compact. Since lithium has a problem, so we are thinking about whether we can use sodium batteries. The sodium-ion batteries also in the market. Then all these sensors required for automation, pressure sensor, gas sensor, so we do that sensors. Then e-waste recycling is one of the areas we have started. Like you see, a lot of e-waste is generated every day. This e-waste has to be, because degradation of e-waste is very difficult. When it is available on the earth and you will not do anything about this, then they will last for 200 years, 300 years because nothing happens to this e-waste. If you don't do it now, so you will have the mountains of the all these e-waste. So you have to work on it. So we have developed some technologies. See, if one ton of e-waste gives almost 150 grams of gold, 500 grams of silver, and almost 5 kg of copper. So almost these precise metals are available on this e-waste. So we are working on that. Our Hyderabad laboratory is working on that. Then graphene has very good applications. So whether we can make different kind of graphenes. Because each graphene has a different structure, reduced graphene oxide or only graphene. They have a different structures. And this can be used in many devices. So whether we can work on that. So like suppose the displays now are there in the market. They are on LED type or LCD type displays. All these displays will be changed with this graphene after some time. So many applications of this graphene. So we have the center of graphene there. Then quantum materials. These quantum technologies will come like quantum computers. They will be very fast as compared to conventional computers. So these calculations will be done within a fraction of seconds. Huge calculations can be done within a fraction of seconds. So these quantum computers will come in the market, and these quantum computers will have quantum materials. So these quantum materials will going to take part in these quantum computing technologies. So all these areas where we are working, and would like to focus some of the areas where the young students or MTech students or last year engineering students can take part. So these are the areas we are working, where we are nanostructure materials, then hydrogen we are working, then batteries, sensors and thermoelectric materials. So these are the facilities we have. We have nanostructure material facilities, making battery facilities, hydrogen facilities, hydrogen production facilities. All these we can, all these are facilities available in the Pune laboratory. And this is the rechargeable battery technology we have developed. These are the cathode, anode, we have everything we have developed. You can see, if you see your mobile battery, see in mobile battery we have pouch cell like this. So we have made the batteries for mobile. Then cylindrical cells are very important for the power bank or your laptops. All these batteries we can see how can make these cylindrical batteries, cylindrical cells in the laboratory, and how we can make the bigger batteries out of it. And these are the products we have developed in our Trishul laboratory, all kind of sensor we can have there. So from materials to devices, we have temperature sensors, we have pressure sensors. So all kind of temperature sensors with minus 70 degree to 1000 degree centigrade we can make with materials. So this is a very unique laboratory. We have graphene center there. And here again materials for sensors like these, we have recently developed some early detection breast cancer unit, where you can see that all these temperature sensors are fitted in that, and your body can be scanned with temperature, and this with this simulation we can find out whether this cancer is at early stage or what stage. Then this Hyderabad laboratory, we are working on all kind of very high purity materials, 99.99 and 5N, 7N purity. These materials required for the ISRO or the application, ISRO and or the space application and defense applications. And they require in few kgs, so we are developing for them and we are giving them to for their purpose. So some of the materials from our laboratory is already there in the satellite or already there in the launching vehicles, means a rocket. These are the rockets, and this rocket, the nozzle of the rocket is like this, metallic kind of things, where we have hafnium product, where temperature goes to 3000 degrees centigrade. So that is very unique technology we have developed. Then we go for hydrogen. So there are many processes are available for hydrogen, because hydrogen is a green technology, and still date we do not have the very economical route where we can produce hydrogen, because as I told you that the cost of hydrogen should be below $1, then we can use it for energy applications. So these are the four processes I have shown you: electrolysis, biochemical, catalytic and biomass. What is the electrolysis process? So we have a cathode, anode. This is very simple. When you are doing the electrolysis, then it's like a battery. One is a cathode, one is electrode, and one electrolyte. So this water can be split electrolytically to produce hydrogen and oxygen. But this hydrogen oxygen which is produced here is not economical, because the voltage we are giving for this electrolysis process is very high. So continuous production of hydrogen is not cheaper. Then biochemical. There are bioprocesses, but they are very, these bioprocesses are long processes and they are not economical. Then catalytic process, where this catalytic process, with using the catalyst, whether we can decompose water at some temperature to hydrogen and oxygen. But that is also very costly. Then biomass, whether this biomass can be used as a source. Biomass means the waste which are getting from the all plants, whether we can utilize for the hydrogen production. But whenever we are utilizing this waste for hydrogen production, a lot of carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide is also generated. So separation is a big problem. So that is also not economical process. Then what is gray, blue and green hydrogen? So there is one process, standard process, where methane can be converted into carbon monoxide and hydrogen, but there also a lot of CO2 is generated. So hydrogen is also 50% is generated, but the cost of the hydrogen will go up because of this separation problem. This is called as a gray hydrogen. Blue hydrogen means if you take care of CO2 in between the process and only hydrogen is produced, that is a blue hydrogen. And green hydrogen means nothing is coming out, only hydrogen is produced. So this H2S process which we have developed, lot of H2S is generated during the refinery, and whether this H2S can be utilized for hydrogen production. So we have produced hydrogen and sulfur with this some of the techniques, and we found that some of the photocatalytic technique is a good technique where we can produce hydrogen at cheaper rate. So this is the hydrogen process we have developed, where at room temperature we can produce hydrogen from water. You get water and oxygen here. So what is this is actually basis the photocatalytic process. In this photocatalytic process, semiconductors are used as a catalyst, and semiconductors are well known for photoexcitation. When sunlight is absorbed by these materials, electrons and holes are generated, and these electrons and holes are taking part in reduction of water. When we want to reduce water, so electrons will be helpful. So you need to suppress hole. So electron holes can be separated, and these electrons can be used for the hydrogen production. And everything is happening at room temperature. So the hydrogen which you are producing here, much cheaper as compared to other process. So these are the catalysts we have developed, highly porous catalysts we have developed. You can see that the hydrogen production we get is almost 200 ml per hour, means almost the 2,290 micromole per hour, which comes around almost 200 ml per hour. So and this is honeycomb structure MOS2, because see, to design the catalyst like this, because it will absorb sunlight maximum and produce maximum electrons and holes, and these electrons will be responsible for the hydrogen. So these are the catalysts are giving good hydrogen evolution. Then whether we can make combination of two materials and see whether there is efficiency of hydrogen production, and we found that when we combine two semiconductors together, then the electron hole recombination can be suppressed, and electrons, the free electrons will be available for hydrogen production. So these are the so many catalysts we have developed for this the hydrogen production, and found that some of the catalysts are good for the hydrogen evolution, and that whether with technology we can use that. These are all the catalysts we developed in our laboratory. So, and these catalysts can be made in larger scale, and we can have a bigger reactor system and produce the hydrogen in large quantities. Then another area we started with is quantum dots. Quantum dots means any semiconductor we fabricate close to their Bohr radius, very tiny nanoparticles, 1 nanometer to 2 nanometer particles. If these particles can be made at that scale, then they have huge surface area, and very small amount of material can give large amount of hydrogen evolution, and we did that. So what we did, these smallest particles are very difficult to stabilize, so we stabilize in glass, and you see that using this glass with very 1 to 2 nanometer size particles, you can see this structure of the inside the glass. These black spots are the cadmium sulfide, the semiconductors in the glass. They are very tiny nanoparticles, 2 nanometer size particles, and they are highly crystalline. And because of this structure, the hydrogen production is much higher in this case. You see this, because of the particle size, you can give the different colors, because what happened with the electron and holes recombination suppression is depend upon the quantum, you can say this size quantization effect. So suppose this yellow glass may be contain 2 nanometers of particle, that red glass may be 4 nanometers of particles, and this black is 6 nanometers of particles. So with size, same compound can give the 4 different properties, optical properties. So we have to cache this kind of properties for hydrogen evolution. And you can see initially it is transparent, then as you grow, have cadmium sulfide or any other particles in there is a change in the properties. This is a hydrogen generation we did with this glass, and we found that they are much better as compared to other powders. You can see that very straight line, you can see the very linear hydrogen production we can observe. Then we developed another glass kind of structure. In the different system, we generated particles inside the glass, and we found that such kind of structures can give much hydrogen evolution. You can see that here, these nanoparticles inside the glass. So many nanoparticles, very tiny nanoparticles in the glass. The glass is very small particle of glass. We have seen the microscope, and under that microscope, you can see 12 nanometers to 14 nanometer scale particles inside the glass. So you can see the 300 nanometer to almost 700 nanometers. There is a huge shift due to the particle size, and because of this particle size, you get different properties. These are all the optical properties. There is a change in optical properties. Here, since these particles are very tiny and small in numbers, so it's very difficult to identify. So we did with Raman spectra and found that these particles are nothing but the similar CDCC particles. And hydrogen evolution. See, when the particle size is very low, 4 to 5 nanometer, you get very huge amount of hydrogen evolution as compared to larger particles. And these particles are very stable. Then we also developed one silver phosphate is a very well-known compound, which can use as a catalyst for hydrogen evolution. But this silver phosphate is very unstable. So we stabilize in glass, and we found that different particle size also prepared in the glass. See, you can see that all nanoparticles embedded in the glass, and this glass can show the different optical properties. And you see here the very huge amount of hydrogen evolution is possible with very lower particle size. This is our bigger reactor system, where we have produced hydrogen in 2 liters per hour. So inside this reactor, we have catalyst, and there is a natural sunlight. If you cover the reactor with black paper and don't allow light to go inside, automatically reaction stops. So there is no hydrogen evolution. When we expose to again sunlight, then hydrogen production starts. So how we can design the reactor. So design of reactor system is very, very important, because it should expose to sunlight in such a way that all particles should come in contact with light and produce maximum hydrogen evolutions. Then energy storage devices, we have battery and supercapacitors, because this is our center of excellence. So we are working on materials. Then another is whether we can make only electrodes and sell in the market, and cell assembly, whether we can fabricate the cell ourselves. So there are three technologies are available. So this is a carbon we have made. Carbon is a good anode material for these batteries, and carbon is how we can make a cheaper carbon. So whether we can make from biomass. So we have made the carbon from biomass, and it is highly porous and it shows good good capacity. Then lithium titanium oxide is one of the compound used as a cathode or anode, and these anodes are very, very important for, because the maximum capacity of storage in the chemical, because battery is the chemical energy is like electrical energy converted into chemical energy, and chemical energy is converted to electrical energy. Okay, so it's a chemical device where the energy is stored in the form of chemical energy, and then slowly we are getting the electrical energy out of it. So it is a material property. So material property is very, very important. Then n-doped titanium oxide also we have used, because it is then our research is going on how to improve the material so that maximum amount of capacity we get out of it. So these are the more systems we have developed, and we are going to the very higher capacity modules. where the small amount of any material can give store large amount of energy. So this is perforated graphene we have made, because simple graphene cannot be used for the battery application. So very perforated graphene, where the channeling of ions are very, very important. So this first time we have made it, and we found that these are also very important for our battery application. Then lithium cobalt oxide is one of the new compound we have developed for this, and we found that it's again a very stable capacity for this 160 milliampere hour per gram. It is a good capacity. Then lethal now in the market people are using this lithium ferrous phosphate, but all imported. It's imported from China, it is imported from South Korea, and people are looking. So now this indigenous technology we have developed, so we can at least give the materials to the manufacturer in the country, and they can produce the cathode anode. So these are the one of another material which has come in the market, so which also we have developed. So these are the devices we have made out of our own material. So we can have the battery for the mobiles, as well as battery for the vehicle also, because it's a vehicle we have made it. See, this is a single cell which we are importing from outside. And suppose this single cell, suppose we want to have the batteries of 48 volt. So put it in parallel series. One cell is a 3.7 volt. So make it some 40 cells or 30 cells, so that we can have the 48 volt battery or 100 volt battery. So making that kind of battery is not a problem. Problem is how to make the single cell like this. This single cell manufacturing is very, very important. This is not there in the country. All this with getting from China and South Korea. So we have developed this single cell. Now indigenous production of this single cell will come in the market. Very important area, like we have also thought process has given for the whether we can make very cheaper batteries like sodium batteries. So we started working on sodium materials, because sodium materials are very, very important. See, only sodium cannot be used, but sodium in the form of very sturdy material, so very stable material. So we use this another compound like a tin. Along with tin we can have sodium, so that sodium can be made alloy out the tin, and whenever we require, this sodium can be transported during charge discharge. Then the SN304 is also one of the good product which we have developed, and which can give the good sodium ion capacity. All these compounds are new compounds. We will not find in the with these doped compounds, we will not find in the literature. So we developed this for battery applications. Then MOH2 graphene, whether we can use both compounds, MOH2 and graphene together, and see whether we can enhance the capacity. You can see that there is another product we have developed, sodium vanadium phosphate. It is highly porous. Because of this porosity, we get good ion transport and good capacity, almost 100 milliampere hour per gram. It is very close to lithium ion battery. So now our sodium ion battery development is, we are very close to like lithium ion battery. So maybe within maybe 3-4 months we may come out with a good sodium ion battery technology. This again another technique we use for the battery to enhance the battery capacity. You can see that the porosity of the material is very, very important to channelize the ions during the charge discharge. So this is the sodium ion battery. You can see the sodium ion battery we have made out of sodium, and button cell, like coin cell. We can see that many coin cells are available in your watches and all these things. All these are lithium cell, but whether we can use these sodium ion cells, very cheaper cells. Then all this battery technology has a problem of safety, because they use organic electrolyte. So we started working on the solid electrolyte, whether we can use polymer electrolyte, whether we can use ceramic electrolyte, or whether we can use glass electrolyte, so that our batteries can be stable. We can charge the batteries very fast. Now you can see that our whenever if you buy the e-vehicle, and if you have to wait for half an hour for the charging, so people will not buy e-vehicle. So you need to have the charging within a 5 minutes or within a 2 minutes. So we have developed some polymer electrolytes, and these polymer electrolytes are working. You can see the very stable 120 milliampere capacity up to 50 cycles. That means it's a good performance they are showing it, and we can also see that the batteries at different temperature, how it works. So when the temperature increases the batteries, the ionic mobility is fast, so though we get a good capacity, but beyond 60 we cannot work on these batteries. Then we made a flexible batteries, because in future all displays and all will come as a flexible. Rollable displays will come, mobile as well as your laptop. So this rollable laptops and rollable mobiles will need the flexible batteries. So we started working on the flexible batteries, and we get that there is no much difference when we make them flexible. So this is this organic. So all materials which we use earlier is inorganic materials. So we found that whether organic electrodes can be used, because they can be synthesized. And this we have one of the good electrolyte of glass electrolyte we have synthesized. This very, very cheaper electrolyte, and it can go up to 200 degrees centigrade. So at room, we can charge the battery fast to this electrolyte. So this is one of the innovation we have did, and we have taken the US patent of this. Whether batteries can be made through the 3D printing technology. So we have the 3D printers now. We can make the 3D printed batteries, and these 3D printed batteries like paper batteries. So that is the very advanced technologies now we are using for this battery applications, because these are the very thin batteries will have very higher capacity. Then supercapacitors, because supercapacitors it has a higher energy, higher power density but low energy density. Battery has a higher energy density, low power density. See, if you see your vehicle, when you start the vehicle, that time the power requirement is very high. So there we read the supercapacitors. So these supercapacitors are used in these very high power applications. So all these graphene supercapacitors, where the carbon is the main material used in this. So we started using with graphene and other carbon source, and we found that this also can be utilized for this purpose. So all these energy applications and energy storage applications are very, very important, and green technologies are, when we are going towards green technologies, then we need to do lot of R&D work. And for this R&D work, like young talents like you, is very, very useful. And for this purpose, I think the work which I have done is very, very small work. So many things needs to be done till date. And definitely within 2-3 years, we may get some good green technologies. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, that's why I made a very simple conclusion that still many things has to be done. But whatever maybe I have presented or anything, any questions are there on this hydrogen or other related R&D related things, you can always ask me. Thank you. Any questions? Okay. now this hydrogen, when we really go for these water splitting type things, so there the cost is coming around below $1. But cost of now current cost is around $5 per $5 to $7 per kg. Yeah, yeah, because when you we are using light for this. Okay, catalyst is again a green catalyst. So main culprit is only catalyst, because where the sunlight falls on it, and we get the sunlight will get absorbed in the that catalyst, and then it produces electron holes. Okay. So what we need to do, we need to have, we need to separate electron holes. So we need to add something in between where they can capture the holes. So electron holes are like husband and wife, no? They go on meeting every time. Okay. But if you don't allow them to meet, they are in excited state. No? All their excitation, their energy is very high. So you have to use that energy. Okay. So holes can be trapped. So these electrons are highly energetic, and then they react with water and produce split water into hydrogen and oxygen. Yes. Maybe 1.5 years, maybe. No. That is a different story. See, these are the energy storage devices. Energy storage devices, you need it, because you cannot run your laptop, or you cannot run your mobiles without that. This hydrogen cannot be stored. Unless and you store the hydrogen and make some hydrogen storage device, then it's okay. But hydrogen continuously we can use it, and the energy can be utilized for like vehicle or for stationary purpose. Okay. But like this consumer electronics, very difficult to use this kind of technology. So you need a battery technology or supercapacitor technology. They are going to be there in the market. Okay. Yes. Yeah, you want. Now if you see that new technologies are coming in the market, so they have the system, recycling system. Okay, when the excess of hydrogen is there, then go back to the process. You means the source of hydrogen were utilized to work as energy. Okay, whenever some excess hydrogen goes, it will come back again. And there is a mechanism they have developed where this hydrogen can be again reverted back and put it again in the process for the system. So almost 95%, 95 to 98% now hydrogen can be utilized for hydrogen. It is highly energetic, no, because calorific of hydrogen is 3.5 times more than the petrol. Very small amount of hydrogen gives very large amount of energy. So, and ignition is very easy there, no? That's why. So conversion immediately it will burn. So not like petrol. Even see in water, if you have a lot of hydrogen in water, and hydrogen comes on the surface, if you just ignite it, it will light it. So it's so much the active. Hydrogen is so much active. Safety is a problem, so that also now people are going to solve very in near future. Yes, sir. We are trying that, but what happened? As I told you, the supercapacitor charging is fast and discharging is also very fast. So you get huge amount of energy. Okay, this huge amount of energy cannot be stored in battery because the energy generated by the supercapacitor within a fraction of a second is a huge amount of. Battery doesn't have that capability to do that, right? Unless and we have such combination, supercapacitor and battery, you need to, like I told you, that whether we can have these ceramic base batteries. Okay, then that time what happens when you have a huge amount of energy generated by the supercapacitor within a fraction of a second, and immediately it can give to the battery, and battery can generate some capacity, maybe 50 or 60, whatever maybe, and then multiply you have to just in between you have to put some circuits, and whether we can amplify that. So there is a hybrid batteries now. We have one project on hybrid batteries, but still we are facing problems in this because there are a lot of other problems in the materials, because the battery is not taking that kind of inputs. What is the energy generated through the supercapacitor? Yeah, can be optimized. And whether we can reduce the size, because as soon as we are putting the supercapacitor along with batteries, again size will change. Size will be little bigger. Okay, so there are many things also needs to be done in supercapacitor. Whether small size supercapacitor can generate more energy, then it is possible. So supercapacitor, again still there is some at the some academic stage. Only utilized for very typical applications. Yes, why not? Yeah, there are many US patents on this, but still wait. Because the weight of the total battery and supercapacitor is much higher, because in supercapacitors they use all metals, so automatically their weight is high as compared to battery. Thank you.
Good afternoon all. Myself Suraj Kumar Khasbage from Department of First Year Engineering Mechanical. I present my sincere thanks to Dr. Bharat B. Kale sir, Director General, Center for Materials for Electronics Technology, Pune. On behalf of our beloved Principal Dr. D.S. Bodmani and from all the Management Society of AISSMS COE Pune, we present a sincere thanks to you. Your presentation was wonderful. You have covered the hydrogen technology point in every aspect. You have shown your research details, all the details of your research. You discussed the manufacturing of it. You discussed its opportunities, pros and cons. So thank you so much from all AISSMS family. I request all the participants to gather at cafeteria area for the lunch. I declare that the session is over. Thank you.